talked, oh God, once or twice already about the whole Daniel Jones Saquon Barkley thing. So let's delve more into that, right? Daniel Jones, of course, has been a very, very average quarterback throughout the duration of his 4-year career. 4 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of his 4-year career. Underwhelming. I probably would have picked up his 5th-year option, paid that, and then went to go ahead and renegotiate on a lesser deal. Instead, they go ahead and extend him for 4 years, 20 million? No, more than that.
Ridiculous.
3 years, 120 million. So 40 million a year, right? Check that. So anyway, but either way, it's a salary or 4 years, 160. It's 4 years, 160. It's 4 years, 160. Anyway, the contract pays him $40 million a year.
82 million of which is guaranteed.
Yes, there you go. So, and I said this about Daniel Jones. I said this about Kirk Cousins. I said this about Dak Prescott. I said that's fine. If you want to create stability at the quarterback position, and your goal is to not win a championship, then it is totally fine to go ahead and pay those players that type of money, right? Of course, Dak at the time of his signing, was I think the first or second highest paid quarterback in the league at that time when he signed that contract. That made him the second highest paid, I think. Same thing with Kirk Cousins' first contract, second contract, put him up there as well. And I said, if your goal is to not win a title, if you want to compete for the division, if you want to maybe host a playoff game every other year, maybe every third year, sure, go ahead and pay him. Right? Same thing with Daniel Jones. And I think best case scenario, you make the playoffs with Daniel Jones. And that's in a weaker NFC. So what does that say about him? He has not been dynamic. He's been more of a turnover-prone quarterback. And it's actually slightly improved over the last year or so, but it's still nowhere near where you would want it for a franchise quarterback. The production's not there. If you take away his 2 games against Minnesota last year, he's got like 12 touchdown passes in 15 games. But here's what happens when you pay a bad to below average quarterback good to great money. Now, Saquon Barkley, right? You already saw with Dexter Lawrence, the defensive lineman. He said, wait a minute, without Daniel Jones being, without us, Daniel Jones he's back to rookie year Daniel Jones, which is bad. He's back to fumbling the ball 17 times and turning it over through the air another 9 in a single season. Without a good defense, you're screwed. You need me. That's what Dexter Lawrence said. And they said, no argument here. Here's the money. Here's the money. Here's the security. Here's everything you wanted in the contract. Saquon Barkley's going to do the same thing because he's even more dynamic of a football player, and he's right beside Daniel Jones. Right? Like, you can see a direct correlation to Daniel Jones' success based upon how successful and how dynamic is Saquon Barkley. So he's going to play his leverage, and he should play his leverage. He is a dynamic player who should be getting paid like the best offensive piece they had or that they have. Of course, he won't be because Daniel Jones is paid a lot of money when he shouldn't be paid this much money. You're going to see it happen. They're not going to be able to compete. They're not going to be able to keep that second really good guard. Or they're not going to be able to have 2 good linebackers and 2 edge rushers. They're going to be able to have 1 of each. They're not going to have that extra DB that's going to be able to step in and be really, really good. It's just your roster gets very, very thin.
And let's not forget, one of the most crucial parts to any sort of team that's going to make a push into the playoffs, go deep into the playoffs, and contend for a Super Bowl, really be in that Super Bowl window. One of the main things that you have to have is depth. We know how aggressive and how injury-riddled the NFL gets by week 10. By week 10, you're looking up, if you still have all your starters, you are lucky.
You look at a lot of playoff games, sometimes it's who's healthier.
Exactly. So depending on the amount of depth you have has a lot to do with how far you go in this league. Now, when you overpay, like you said, you can only have 1 of some things. You can't have 2 of everything. And that's why it's so important to win on that rookie deal when you have that quarterback on a rookie deal where you can still afford to distribute that money across a vast portion of the positions.
Of the roster, yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And it's, again, you saw it with Kirk Cousins, you saw it with Dak, and you see the flip side of it with the Mahomes, right? And that's the thing. Does Mahomes make just as much, if not more, than Daniel Jones? Yes, he does. But he covers up holes right? Like, that's why all these Giants players can go out and use their leverage, because the Giants and Daniel Jones need those players just for him to be average, right? Can say, oh, all new line? It's fine. Doesn't matter. We'll go win 13 games. Oh, Tyreek Hill's gone, completely rebuilt the wide receiving core? No, that's fine. We'll just win the Super Bowl with a record number of rookies starting and a record number of rookie minutes in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. So it's not the amount of money, it's who are you paying the money to. I'll pay for great. I have no problem paying for great. I pay for Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, right? I'll pay for special. I'll pay for great.
Exactly.
It's when you pay good for average or pay great for average. That's the problem.
Now, here's what's going to be telling. So last week we discussed Mac Jones, right? And we compared him to a couple other quarterbacks, and we were deciding who we would take, Mac Jones or that quarterback. And when we got to the Mac Jones-Daniel Jones comparison, you took Mac Jones solely based on the fact that the contract was way out of proportion with Daniel. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give you a list.
I still think Mac Jones is a better thrower of the football, though.
Sure. Now, I'm going to give you a list, though, of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks. And this is where the problem lies for New York. Okay. Because if your guy is getting paid like a top 10 quarterback, he should at least be in the conversation.
He needs to be at least top 15.
Right.
You could pay the 15th best quarterback like the 9th. I don't really care. He's close enough.
Yeah.
Like, I got no problem paying Kirk Cousins like the 10th best quarterback, even though he's closer to 14 or 15.
Yeah.
No problem doing it.
All right, so here we go. So, number 1, Lamar Jackson. Would you take Lamar or Daniel Jones?
Oh, Lamar Jackson.
How about Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Kyler Murray. This was the only one that I can kind of see. This one and the next one I think could be back or forth.
I'll take Kyler. He's at least special at something.
Okay, Deshaun Watson. Okay, Patrick Mahomes.
Obviously Mahomes.
How about Josh Allen?
Yeah.
How about Matt Stafford?
Now, see, to me,
Jones.
age is a thing.
I'll give you a hint. They're both making the same amount of money this year, $40 million.
Okay. But I mean, to me, if it's just for this year, I'll take Matt Stafford. Now, if it's for the next 5,
right? It's just this season.
It's just this season. I'll take Matt Stafford
because this is only broken down for 2023
season.
I'd take
Matt
salary
Stafford.
caps will change by next
year. So I guess
year.
for Kyler, assuming Kyler's healthy, I would take Kyler.
Okay, so then Dak Prescott.
I would take Dak.
Okay, Derek Carr.
I would take Derek Carr slightly.
Okay, so there we go. All those guys are paid just equal to or just around the same as Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's your problem.
And you haven't taken Daniel Jones once. He should at least be in the conversation.
I put Daniel probably anywhere between the 18th and 24th best quarterback.
But he's paid like the 8th, and that's the problem.
That's the main problem.
And you're going to see those problems fester. You're going to see them develop, and they're only going to get worse as the season goes on, and you realize that you do need that depth at those important positions. You know?
You do. You need Saquon, so good luck.
Yeah, 100%. But that is